Tell me. Tell me. Really? Yeah, I'll make a video about that. Yeah, I will.
Look, you give me anyone on the fucking street, any motherfucker out there, guy or girl, I'll make him 50 to 100 grand the first year, guaranteed on YouTube social media, guaranteed. My template, in my ebook, Carve the Fuck Up, I've got a template in there. You buy my ebook, you can get fucking sick results. You can lose the weight, you can get YouTube income. You give me anyone and I can give them crazy fucking results.
Lie number 5, using other people's stories, ideas, or efforts as their own. This is the guy at work that takes credit for your project. This is, them saying that they had cancer when it was in fact their sister. You name it, they're going to take credit for it. It's not real. They do that a lot.
They do that a lot. So I saw this Tumblr post where the narc claims that there's no more real dirt on him left because he has put it all out there himself, saying that he can walk down the street and really enjoy the moment and that he doesn't have to pretend. Well, all I have to say to that is challenge accepted. You see, a little bird told me something interesting about his ebooks, and coincidentally, someone asked him about his thoughts on plagiarism, and he replied to that saying that you should do a video about it. Now, what if this someone was me? Does he still want me to do a video about it? You see, I have this document here with a bunch of plagiarized sources and links. So I think in this video we're gonna go through his ebooks. But before we do that, I want to show you a video that Sandra made a little while ago.
In this video, I'm just going to quickly scroll through Harley Johnston's book, Carve the Fuck Up, to show you guys all the stolen content. Harley has admitted that he's made hundreds of thousands of dollars from other people's work, so it shouldn't come as a surprise that 99% of the images in this book are stolen. And he has the nerve to report me for copyright infringement. Please. Clearly the guy's insane, and I think a part of the reason why is because he's on drugs, like he's also admitted to in several videos. Hey Harley, karma is going to devastate your ass, as you've probably already noticed, and this is just the beginning, mate. Keep on slandering and lying to people and watch just how much further your life is going to go down the shitter. You have nobody to blame but yourself, so stop making up lies about me and everybody else in order to cover up your own ass. So look at this. An easy 99% of these images are stolen. Harley didn't take any of these photographs or create any of this art. You're a criminal, dude. As I've stated in another video, I've been in the art business for over 15 years, and it really makes me sick to the stomach when I see people like Harley stealing other people's intellectual property. What a lazy, dishonest scumbag and parasite. How on earth has this person fooled thousands of people into believing a thing he says? Keep on doing what you're doing, Harley, and let's see how far you get in life. As somebody stated on my Facebook page, I think they know they're done, so don't give a fuck. Yep, I think so too. Yeah, look at this. Stolen photographs, safediets.org. None of this stuff is original. This is all pulled from the internet, and Harley didn't ask for anybody's permission. Cola ad, animal photos, scientific diagrams, and most of these graphics are just like lame memes pulled from the internet. Look at that, McDonald's anus pounder. This guy's like so pathetic. How hard is it to put a meme together? You just get a photo and you add lettering to the frickin' graphic. Are you that fucking lazy, Harley? Yeah, like I said, I think a big part of the problem is that the guy's on drugs, and as I said earlier, he has admitted to it. And I was actually doing a bit of research on steroids last night because I'll be making a video about that. And steroids actually causes psychosis, so that explains why Harley is the way he is. The guy is not thinking straight, and he thinks he can just keep on committing crimes and just get away with it.
Now, I highly doubt that the narc has made hundreds of thousands of dollars on his shitty ebooks, but that's another topic. He was told on his Tumblr to stop stealing other people's work without giving credit. And to that he replied, "Sue me. It's the fucking internet, man. People use my shit all the time. You think I'm gonna have a cry about it?" So what I'm gonna do is to just put up the narc's fraudulent ebooks for free. And my message to the narc is, sue me. It's the internet, man. And remember not to have a cry about it. And on the topic of not having a cry about it, I received this email from YouTube recently. The person who doesn't cry about people using his shit filed a copyright claim on the thumbnail of my Destroying the Crazy video. That's this thumbnail. I love how YouTube is like, we believe this is fair use. No shit. The narc filed a copyright claim on his artwork, and his artwork was literally just a screen grab from one of his videos. Way to not have a cry about people using your shit, right? Anyway, let's move on to the ebooks. So before we get started, I recommend that you put the video in full screen, as having the ebooks and the plagiarized sources next to each other makes the text pretty small. Having the video playback in 1080p is probably beneficial too. Now when I have the right side highlighted, you can see on the top there the URL for the plagiarized source. I'll also put the document with all the pages and the sources in the description, where you'll also find the ebooks, so feel free to download it and follow along. Let me just quickly scroll through the ebook so you can see that this is the same ebook that Sandra was showing. Now it's obvious that he has stolen all these photos, but what may not be as obvious is that a lot of the text is stolen too. In fact, so much of the text is stolen that I don't have time to go through it all. So I just sped up the footage and put a 3-second stop where I've highlighted the plagiarized content. So you can pause the video and see for yourself. So this is the guy who calls me a scammer and a fraud, and now look at him. Another projection. What the narc doesn't seem to understand is that when he projects his own crimes onto others, he is exposing himself. And as I made perfectly clear, I will fight fire with fire. So when the narc attach my name and my girlfriend's name to lies, I'll attach his name and his girlfriend's name to the truth of what they're doing. Hence the title of this video. No real dirt on him left, huh? What a joke. So here I am in Hawaii on a beautiful day, sitting inside, having to expose this fraud because he just simply won't stop spreading lies about my girlfriend. And me. And others. Luckily I only have one video after this and I can consider the narc dead and move on with my life. What a pathetic little parasite, constantly accusing others of his own crimes. What's even more ridiculous is that he's not only stealing other people's intellectual property, but he's at the same time slandering the people he is stealing from. As is the case with Dr. John McDougall, and here for the first time on page 26 he actually links to the source. But of course he completely misrepresents Dr. McDougall and leaves out this information, where McDougall wrote sugar should not be added to the food during preparation, and also recommending only using a small amount of sugar on the surface of the food. And of course the narc left out the part where McDougall says there are some real drawbacks and health hazards caused by consuming simple sugars. So let's just debunk this sugar nonsense once and for all, and how the narc is exploiting Dr. McDougall's good name and reputation to push his own agenda.
McDougall fucking pushes you to eat white refined sugar. It's white rice, it's white sugar, it's fruit juice. As much refined sugar as you can handle, calorie-wise. Refined sugar, refined sugar, refined sugar, refined sugar. But you can't use McDougall anymore for your anti-sugar thing because his diet is 95% or 90% calories come from carbohydrate.
So when the narc talks about sugar, he's sometimes referring to refined sugar and other times just referring to carbohydrates. Now, when Dr. McDougall talks about sugar, let's see what he's talking about.
Well, when I say sugar, I generally mean rice, corn, potatoes, beans, peas, and lentils. Now, just to be clear, and I am becoming popular enough that I am attracting a few detractors who will try and confuse you. But just to be clear, I know that table sugar is not good for you. It rots your teeth. It's incomplete calories, in fact, empty calories. It'll raise your triglycerides. So it's not health food, but it does add to the flavor. And so what we do as a general recommendation is we recommend you eat oatmeal, but we do not recommend a bowl of Fruit Loops and a half a bottle of sugar. So let's get that right.
I pour the sugar on. So I'm going to measure out roughly about 150 grams of sugar there. That's it, it's close enough. So that's the sugar there on the cereal.
And we all know sugar rots teeth, and sugar is a bad guy, and we're glad it's been outed, sugar.
McDougall sells refined sugars, but McDougall fucking sells refined fucking carbohydrate. You can see how lean I am. Follow McDougall's advice. End of story. McDougall promotes refined carbohydrate. He fucking sells refined carbohydrate.
And there are people who come out and say, well, Dr. McDougall recommends you eat a half a pound of sugar a day on your diet. That is not true. My recommendations have consistently been, for my entire 40-year career, everything that I've written on my website, my recommendations have been, you can, if you choose, use a small amount of sugar on the surface of your food. That's adding pleasure to your diet with little cost. A small amount of sugar, what do I talk about? A teaspoon of brown sugar on your oatmeal? Just don't eat meat or cheese or vegetable oil. Those are the dominant problems. Believe me, They are far, far more of a burden on your body than is simple sugar, which is not health food. Rots your teeth, raises triglycerides, is a factor in coronary artery disease. I have told you this. I talked to you about how simple sugars raise triglycerides, which raise cholesterol, which may increase the risk of heart disease, and how fructose is the worst of all the sugars. I told you that, and have in many previous newsletters in the past. My message has been absolutely consistent and right on. And I also told you that starch doesn't do this. We talked about this before, Mary Poppins. A little bit of sugar makes the medicine go down. I will sacrifice for you, and I've written a whole newsletter article about for you on this. You go to Hot Topics, and under carbohydrates and sugar, you'll find this article about the pleasure of sugar, how I am willing to sacrifice this small insult to your body, or encourage you into eating the McDougall diet. So if I can give you a starch-based meal plan with a tiny bit of salt and sugar on the surface of the food to make your tongue happy, I'm willing to do that. But I have clearly laid out for you on page 182 and 183, if you have the starch solution, the exact discussion.
And McDougall even proves that. He backs up with the science. So McDougall recommends refined sugar.
Ladies and gentlemen, I've told you over and over again, sugar is not health food. White sugar rots teeth, causes nutritional imbalances. That's not what I recommend. I do think it's permissible and maybe advantageous to put a little white sugar on top of your starchy meals. You may be more likely to eat your oatmeal with a teaspoon of brown sugar, which is 16 calories, by the way. 16. That's not 60. That's 16. 16 calories. So we do use a little simple sugar on our foods, usually on the surface. As I've told you before, Mary Poppins movie, a little bit of sugar makes the medicine go down. Telling you that eating sugar is the problem. Well, it is a problem, but it's not the problem. And certainly starch is the answer, not the problem. It's the solution, but they mix up sugar with starch.
And rice is sugar, fruit is sugar, sugar is sugar, potatoes are sugar, carrots are sugar, beetroots are sugar, 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 sugar.
Again, don't confuse the subject and think Dr. McDougall thinks table sugar is health food. I have to keep repeating myself because there are people out there that do spread bad rumors about me.
Dr. McDougall giving the sugar the thumbs up. Corn, rice, potatoes, added sugar. It's sugar, 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 sugar.
Hello, I'm Dr. John McDougall. Sugar. Yeah, I mean, when I say sugar, everybody goes, oh, it's going to be the worst thing in the world. Well, it's not health food. I mean, after all, if you're talking about table sugar, you're talking about highly refined food that is basically sugar. No protein, no vitamins, no minerals, no essential fats. It's just empty calories. That's right. And sugar, without a question, contributes to tooth decay. And in otherwise healthy people, sometimes what happens is if you eat too much sugar, the triglycerides can go up. That's the fat in the blood.
You want to add refined sugar to your whole foods, to your fruits.
I'm not really confident of coming out of this, but I got my blood test and I have high triglycerides. I have 223.
There you go. Because would you say if I'm a dog in the you got a pack of little puppy dogs in a pen, would you say I'm a hyper puppy dog or more of a chill puppy dog?
More of a chill.
Yeah. So if you want to chill your triglycerides, you need to be a chill puppy dog.
If you want to lower your triglycerides, you have to be a chill puppy dog. Durianrider, 2016.
And as a result, that may increase your risk of having various problems like heart disease. I believe that sugar used in reasonable amounts, and what I'm talking about is maybe a little bit of sprinkle on your oatmeal in the morning for breakfast, maybe a little bit in dessert, and only have occasional desserts. That's perfectly fine. To incur a little bit of risk by recommending you add a little bit of simple sugar so that you will switch to a healthy starch-based diet. So I developed the McDougall program for maximum weight loss. Of course, you want to avoid with a plague those things that we know are fattening, like oils, as well as alcohol and sugars.
If you want to get fucking lean, man, sugar's the friend.
As well as alcohol and sugars.
I understand where you're coming from.
It should take
Carbon up on that Sprite. Carbon up on that Sprite. I love it. Listen, Harley.
Yeah.
That's not all from this morning.
That's from the last fucking hour, bro.
The thing is with sugar, like, it's just so sweet. You can't eat too much of it because you, like, get sick from it because it's just so sweet. So, like, it's impossible to overeat on sugar. I think it's important in your diet. So sugar is not bad at all. It's just carbohydrate. It's good for you. Like YouTube, it's the best career because anybody can do it. You don't need qualifications. Like, that's just awesome.
God.
This whole, like, 5-6 months you've been in Chiang Mai, have you actually eaten at home? And I was like, 7-Eleven meals count as your own meal? Sex is life. smashing the sugar. For breakfast, I will have some sugar. Today for breakfast, I had some sugar, and then I had a smoothie. I had some sugar in that smoothie. Sugar water is a great breakfast meal. Sugar water is great. Sugar water up to there. It's like a meal in a bottle. Sugar is great. The sugar in the bottle, meal in a bottle, great advice. It is so good. So just do everything I say, everything Harley says, and you'll lose that weight in no time.
There you go.
You see that? What
There
am I
you
doing
go.
now?
What's up, guys? I just want to make sure that if I wasn't creepy enough, disturbing enough, I just want to throw a little bit of it out there for you. You know what I mean? I don't know if I was weird enough, if I'm making y'all comfortable. I just want to throw out a little blah, 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 okay? In case you guys didn't think low enough for me, okay? Just want to show you what I'm all about, okay?
So the best food I would say is sugar water. Sugar water is perfect. I think sugar's great. Sugar does not make you fat. Sugar makes you a lean bean. And like, we're not talking a teaspoon of sugar. We're talking tablespoons. We're talking hundreds of grams, 200 grams, 500 grams of sugar. It's good. Sugar is like the best fuel.
Here's a book you probably learn about through me, Dr. McDougall. Most people on YouTube promoting McDougall heard about him through myself. But on page 178, McDougall recommends life should be sweet, and I totally agree. So again, he recommends the sugar, life should be sweet. John McDougall, Mary McDougall, start solution. Boom, life should be sweet, carb the fuck up, done, end of story.
This is for Dr. McDougall. There is a social media personality online that actually says Sprite is a good weight loss food. And the reason he says this is because he read a book of yours where you actually recommended, I believe, white rice, refined sugar white rice as a staple in a diet. So he makes the stretch to say that you actually yourself endorse or recommend something such as soft drinks. So what would you say to that, soft drinks being a weight loss food?
McDougall says page 178, life should be sweet.
You know, what I'd say is that people often don't read what I've written. So I think I know what you're referring to. People distort what you say. They distort the truth. Those of you who know me know exactly what Mary and I have recommended for 40 years, which is in all of our books, all of our 13 books say the exact same thing. Every public statement that I've ever made has been exactly the same. What we teach is a diet based on starch. Has anybody heard that before? Okay. It's based on corn, rice, potatoes, beans, peas, lentils. We try and make the food taste good. And the reason we try and make the food taste good is so that people will eat it. To answer your question, is we have always taught, and still do, you should eat a starch-based diet with fruits and vegetables. We want that diet to taste good. A little bit of sugar will make the medicine go down, is I want them to eat the food. And if I have to resort to putting a little bit, 16 calories of brown sugar on their oatmeal, or putting a little bit of salt on the top of their spaghetti dish, I will make that sacrifice. But that's all we've ever recommended, is a little bit of salt and sugar for flavoring. And anyone who says differently is distorting my message, and they should be ashamed of themselves.
Another question is, what foods should one avoid completely?
Okay, these are called food poisons. I call them food poisonings. In June of 2014, I wrote Dr. McDougall's color picture book on food poisoning and how to cure it by eating beans, corn, rice, and potatoes. And it's a color picture book that explains to you what food poisons are, and I will categorize them in two categories. One is animal foods. Any animal food you should consider a food poison, and simple sugar. We use these, as Mary Poppins says, to a little sugar makes the medicine go down better. We use a little bit of simple sugar on the oatmeal, a little bit of salt in the food, because it really makes it taste good.
When you talk about salt and sugar, you're talking about adding it on the food sparingly and not while cooking it, right?
Well, that's what we recommend. There are people who are salt sensitive, and of course sugar. Well, let's just say it. We say it now. I have to say it 1,000 times, because there are people who would like to see my message confused. So when I talk about starch and carbohydrate and sugars, And so on. They go, white table sugar, that's the problem. White table sugar, this is what kills people. Well, white table sugar, when you eat sufficient amounts of it, will rot your teeth, causes acids on the teeth and rots them. And also in sensitive people, this excess sugar causes the fats in the blood to go up, called triglycerides. If you use a little on the surface of the food, you get maximum taste with the tongue and minimal amount of simple sugar. So that's the way I recommend it. Salt likewise, and salt tastes so good. Remember, the tip of the tongue tastes with pleasure salt, because you are a seeker of minerals. And likewise, it tastes with pleasure sugar, which should have been sweet potatoes, corn, rice. But industry has discovered these stimulants, these powerful stimulants that we have that affect us, and they put it in everything, in all the foods, loaded with salt and sugar and so on. It is loaded. And as a result, it makes these things addictively attractive. But, I'm just trying to win the war. And if I can get you to eat the potatoes and the rice and the corn and the pasta by making you a nice sauce with a little salt and sugar in it, and you'll eat just a whole pile of this starch, then you and I have won. You'll start losing the weight, the arteries will start cleaning out, the bowel movements will be great, the multiple sclerosis will stop, the rheumatoid arthritis will go away. And I just want to win the war. I'm not trying to be perfect.
So Dr. McDougall is not pushing refined sugar on you like the NARC claims he does. He says that you can use a small amount of salt and sugar on your food to make it taste better, so you will eat the food, the real food. Now let's look at some of the implications of this horrible advice that the NARC and his girlfriend are promoting.
For breakfast, I would usually have like a smoothie, then I would add in probably about 150 to 200 grams of pure refined sugar.
So pouring half a pound of sugar.
Holly, what have you made me?
We have made a little raspberry recovery smoothie. Just water, fruit, sugar.
Yeah, this was basically what I ate over the course of this year. And I had this carb the fuck up mentality, like you just have to fucking smash it in. As the months passed by, I slowly but surely gained weight. I think I gained weight so slowly that I didn't even see it myself, because I don't know, looking back I can see that I was in the denial. Like my parents could see it, my family could see it, my friends could see it, everyone could see that I was gaining a shit ton of weight. But I was just completely convinced that, in order to heal my body, like this is what needs to happen. I need to gain this weight in order to heal. And I was just so convinced that, I am doing the right thing here. I'm eating the cleanest diet out there.
Hi, I'm going to do a little experiment over the next 30 days where I make one small change in my diet and see how it affects my health. What's the one little change? I'm going to start drinking 10 Cokes a day. That's the only change, but we're going to see what the increased sugar and the increased insulin load, how that affects my health. Yesterday was the 30th day of drinking 10 Cokes a day. In 30 days, I gained 23 pounds. That's quite a bit of weight gain, a little bit surprising. So a lot of weight gain, and haven't had any Coke this morning, obviously. I feel a little bit low energy and have a little bit of a headache, but I think that's going to go away pretty soon, and I'm really excited for this part of just trying to lose some weight, get back down to 168 pounds, stop drinking Coke.
Sugar?
Raw vegan.
Doesn't sugar make you fat?
Obviously not.
Obviously not. Obviously fucking not.
So the NARC is not only completely misrepresenting Dr. McDougall, he's using Freely and now Tori as evidence for his advice being legit.
And this would naturally, as maybe you can imagine, cause so much conflict and drama with my parents, as they would just constantly beg for me to stop pouring 200 grams of sugar in my smoothie. I would just get so mad, and I would just either completely ignore them or just try to convince them that, this is the way that I need to heal my body, and this is what everyone in the whole world should be doing. Like, you people are so fucked in the head, like, how can you not see what I'm seeing? And I would just I would say stuff like, it's completely impossible to gain weight from sugar, even though I was gaining weight, and I would say that with, and they would say, but Marty, you have gained weight, like, how, explain that? And I would be like, but it's metabolic damage.
Metabolic damage. Metabolic damage. She's damaged her metabolism. So Colin Campbell says metabolic damage is bullshit. That's a whole other video. But Colin Campbell's not even a vegan. So what the fuck would he know about the vegan lifestyle? If you need a doctor to tell you to eat healthy, you need to be your own fucking doctor.
And there's people that say metabolic damage doesn't... Let me just get the fucking book. One more time. One more fucking time. Let me get the book.
Fucking idiots! You dumb fucks!
Read this fucking book, all you fucking dickheads out there. Metabolic damage doesn't exist. Read this fucking book.
Now, I haven't read that book in particular, but I read The Star Solution, and based on that, I can confidently say that the narc has no credibility when holding up a book and presenting it as evidence. I think we also should take note of how he's telling people who are gaining weight on his advice to just continue what they're doing because it's metabolic damage. It just shows how little concern he has for people's health. And when someone is brave enough to speak up about it, he's trying to shame them and destroy them, basically, as you'll see later in this video.
If my mom was like, Marty, please don't pour 200 grams of sugar in, I would take the bag, I would pour the whole fucking bag in, just to be like, haha, look what I did, haha, fuck yeah.
Fuck your parents, man. Fuck what your parents think.
Just, yes, it's real petty, I do realize that now. I don't believe in any way, shape or form that one ever has to gain 60 kilos in order to heal. Like, how is that healthy? I just don't see how that is healthy at all. Just the fact that I would gain so much weight that I had trouble fucking walking upstairs. And I was like 19 years old at the time, so you know, it's not that I'm getting old or anything, like I'm young, I should be able to walk upstairs fine, you know? And also just the fact that I kept gaining and gaining weight, but I didn't change what I was doing. How insane is that? I just kept doing the same thing over and over again, hoping for different results. Like, it's insane. And the fact that I was so brainwashed by this whole smashing in the calories, eating competition, like, just gotta smash it in.
Eat till you're about to spray the fucking MacBook with your lunch, breakfast or dinner. Serious. So eat until you spew. So when I say eat till you're about to vomit, do that. Simple as that.
Did you hear that? Unlimited calories.
The fact that I thought the reason I'm not losing weight is because I'm not drinking enough Sprite.
Some Sprite going. Sprite is good for weight loss. Sprite's fucking incredible for weight loss. Why is that? Because it's got sugar in it.
I seriously thought that. I seriously fucking thought that. I'm not shitting you. It's... Oh my god. It was not until I stopped doing the Sugar Mountain diet that I actually started losing weight. And also something I want to say from personal experience is that be very careful of who you take advice from, especially if that is from a person that has never experienced being even close to overweight and they claim to know everything because they gained a kilo, basically having just a lot of salt the evening before and claiming they know a lot about weight loss. And just, yeah, I would take advice from people that personally know what it feels like and how to lose weight when you are really overweight, like 100 plus kilos. I'm not talking just a little bit chubby, you know. I gained 60 kilos on Sugar Mountain diet, and hopefully this can be a warning to other people.
Have you noticed what the narc, Freely and Tori have in common? None of them have ever been close to being obese, and all of them are giving weight loss advice. Now, to be fair, I'm not putting Freely in the same boat here. I don't think she promotes refined sugar, but she has allowed the narc to use her as like evidence for his advice being legit. Do you see how this advice is hurting people and putting people's health at risk? This kind of misleading and deceptive conduct to sell products like ebooks is illegal, and if they were more successful with it, I'm sure the law would catch up with them. In the meanwhile, I'll prevent them from making money off it. Sue me. And what do you think is the demographic that this advice is promoted to? Do you see the implications of what they're...
If you constantly sip or eat sugar throughout the day, you can easily overwhelm any preventative regime you do. So you can brush all day, it won't make a difference.
It's not just Mario. Each year, 26,000 primary school age kids go to hospital just because of rotten teeth. Pulling out kids' teeth costs the NHS around £30 million a year.
Sugar is the biggest source of children going to hospital in the country. The numbers are enormous, they're terrifying, and it's the biggest pressing problem we have. We are red light, flashing, floodlights, sirens, alarms. We're beyond red. The demand for our services, particularly for children's teeth, is absolutely overwhelming.
This is what the narc is promoting. He's not only giving horrible advice, he's misrepresenting books and doctors to make it seem more legitimate. And he's using Freely and Tori as evidence that his advice works. And not only that, he's lying about his own health issues. His teeth. He did his teeth because of tooth decay, but he's giving every other reason for why he did it. And in part 4 of the unmasking I pointed this out, but I was criticized for being deceptive and sent clips of him being open about his teeth.
Norvegan, thumbs up for actually like getting that information out there. I don't think all of it's good. I think some of it is actually deceptive editing, like for example the bit about him not getting work done on his teeth, for example. If you actually just watch that clip, he's very clearly trolling and actually admitting that he got work done on his teeth, so it was deceptive.
Trolling, they call it. He was asked a legitimate question, and instead of answering the question head-on, he dodged the question with trolling. Look, the question is not whether he has done something to his teeth or not. We all know he has done something to his teeth. And in part 4 I showed a screenshot of him claiming that he had something done to his teeth because of a jaw defect. So my point was not whether or not he had something done to his teeth, it was why he had something done to his teeth. So let's go through this whole teeth situation one more time. After part 4 I was sent this clip.
Bit of my history of dental. In the 90s, we used to get into boxing and sparring with no mouth guard. We'd have gloves but no mouth guards. Even when I was doing training with karate stuff, I'd forget my mouth guard, my sensei would go, oh, it's okay, but you go through your teeth. But when you're that young, you're just like, yeah, I was always to spit out little chips of teeth now and then. Think, yeah, I'm fucking, I just got to spit out a tooth. You should think it was pretty cool. And age 37, a couple of weeks, you realise that stuff you did as a teenager and early 20s probably wasn't the most conducive to your dental health. So the crowns helped me protect all the cracked teeth that I had. Pretty much every single tooth I had some degree of cracking or extreme grinding. And even street fights, I've had street fights where I cracked teeth. I had one in April, cracked a tooth in half, getting king hit in the head. Didn't knock me down, but I did crack a tooth in that.
So just listen to all these reasons he's giving for having his teeth done. We have a jaw defect, we have boxing. I think he said somewhere that he fell on his bike. We have his mother hitting him so hard that his teeth chipped. We have his brother kicking him in the mouth so his teeth chipped. These are all lies. The reason he got his teeth done was because of tooth decay from all the sugar he's consuming. But he won't tell you that. But it's funny how I'm the deceptive one here. Let's hear it from Dana one more time.
You will never get the truth from a narcissist. You will never know the full truth. They will only ever admit to the very bare minimum. It's only as soon as you find out a piece of information, then they'll admit to it. And then you find out another piece, then they admit to it. And then another piece, they admit to it. They will never be forthcoming about something. If they are forthcoming about something, I would say even question that, because with everything with them is that's a half truth, right? And they're never at a loss for words. So they are just so good at like tap dancing around the truth all the time. And for them, everything it's like a kernel of truth surrounded by like a big ball of a lie.
It's a kernel of truth surrounded by a big ball of a lie. So in this case, the kernel of truth is that he had something done to his teeth, and the big ball of a lie are all the supposed reasons he's giving. As Dana says, even if a narcissist is forthcoming about something, or what seems to be forthcoming, even question that, because with everything with narcissists, it's a manipulation. So when the narc gives you all these reasons for why he had his teeth done, it's only to hide the real reason, the tooth decay. He won't tell you that. Now, before we continue with his ebooks, there's another thing I want to address about what he's saying about Dr. McDougall.
Something that I have said for my entire career, and that is I am not a vegan. And the reason I prove it is that every other Thanksgiving I have a 2x2 square inch piece of turkey. And I told people that I have turkey every other Thanksgiving, and I eat a diet of starches, vegetables, and fruits. And the reason that I do that is I don't want people to mistake what I'm teaching with a vegan diet. A vegan diet can be very unhealthy. In fact, often is. I've always wanted to get away from the concept of veganism as your ultimate goal. I had a discussion with the head of the Vegan Summit, and he said, "Is this really true? This can't be true. You can't eat turkey every other Thanksgiving." I said, "Well, whether I do or not, I say I do. And which Thanksgiving I eat that turkey at is something I keep secret. And you will never know whether I have turkey every other Thanksgiving or not. But I say I do, and that's my official statement."
I don't know about you, but it's pretty clear to me that he's not having any turkey every Thanksgiving. It's just something he says to be more approachable to non-vegans and also not have his diet advice confused. And I don't blame him, like vegans have a horrible reputation. And who has been a major contributor to the perception that veganism is a cult for whack jobs? Now, what does the narc has to say about this?
And McDougall does the thing of, I eat meat once a year. Mate, you don't eat meat once a year. You eat more than that. McDougall's not even a vegan. McDougall he eats meat. It is crazy. Dr. McDougall eats meat. I'm not trolling here. This is his own words. All right? It's not slander or making up any rumours. Dr. McDougall eats meat. McDougall eats meat. And then McDougall's not even a fucking vegan. But explain why McDougall eats meat. Dr. McDougall, who's not even a vegan, who eats turkey still. So I'm not trashing. I'm just being objective, honest, transparent as I do. Why do I say McDougall's not vegan? Because he's not vegan. Ask him. He's not. He's not. The two other reasons McDougall's wrong is he critiques fruit. He says fruit makes you fat. And he's not even vegan. McDougall, you need to go vegan. You've got to raise your standards, raise your ethics, raise your morals. Eating turkey because it's Thanksgiving is bullshit, bro. It's fucking bullshit.
You should eat a starch-based diet with fruits and vegetables.
So McDougall, the anti-fruit shit, man, fucking hell.
And anyone who says differently is distorting my message, and they should be ashamed of themselves.
So McDougall, it's 2017, you need to raise the bar. You're not a dumb guy. You're pretty egotistical. You never mention me besides me. You never. You don't even mention Durianrider. You pretend I don't exist. And that's pretty shit, man. It shows you got an ego, a bad ego. A little bit of ego is alright. A bit of confidence. But when you're that egotistical, when it's just me versus we. But he's an old fart with no fitness. Because he's not even doing it himself. He's not even a vegan. McDougall, go vegan, bro. You know? Like, why are you still eating animal products, man? He's not even fucking vegan himself. His program doesn't even work for himself. He's not even a vegan. So how can you be a vegan giving advice to vegans when you're not even vegan? When you don't understand what it's like? You have to understand that McDougall isn't even a vegan. So how can you give advice to vegans when you're not even vegan?
I bet I save more turkeys every year than every single one of you vegans do because of the perspective I put this in.
And I do too. Certainly more than the narc. Anyway, can we now just consider this whole refined sugar advice completely destroyed, please? So here's some evidence of the narc plagiarizing Dr. Esselstyn. His book's tagline with "Follow your heart with no fucks given" really takes on a new meaning when you see how he just blatantly steals other people's intellectual property. Here's McDougall being plagiarized again. So he's taking McDougall's work and passing it off as his own. And then he's criticizing McDougall for not promoting him. Can you possibly get any more entitled than that? For someone who advised kids to not go to school and not get an education, he sure is a good example of the exact opposite of why you should go to school and you should get an education. If not to get a higher education, at least get the basics so you know how to reference sources. Even more material that is plagiarized from Dr. McDougall. Now what's so good about this ebook is that if the narc feels that he's losing money on me giving it out for free, is that he has guaranteed to earn 50 to 100 grand by following the template in this ebook. I do find it a bit strange that someone that can give such promises are selling it for 30 bucks. What happened to building community and helping people? And I mean, he does claim that it's so easy to make money. Now I see why he thinks it's so easy, because he just steals other people's content and then sell it as his own. No wonder he thinks it's easy to make money. He basically just have to copy paste. By the way, the document I showed in the beginning of the video with all the plagiarized sources is 4 pages, and we're only halfway on page 2 now. I don't think people would be shocked that he's plagiarized others, but I do think the sheer extent of his plagiarism is shocking. It's sure gonna be interesting to see what kind of excuse he comes up with on this one. Now, how he has plagiarized this source is even better, or worse, depending on how you see it, than the other ones. Because on this one he has actually gone through the efforts of removing the quotation marks to pass on another person's quote as his own. But everyone knew this already, right? I mean, he has put it all out there, there's no more dirt on him. I wonder what his supporters have to say to this. And by supporters I mean actual people, not the narc's troll accounts. I mean, it will be interesting to see what kind of nonsense he will come up with his troll accounts too. Does he even have any supporters left? I think there's a handful left. Now what would be funny, actually this is a request for Don-Balsa, if he can make an ebook review of this ebook. That would be pure comedy gold. And the narc is still not done with plagiarizing McDougall. But for this ebook review, I mean, most of the book is just copy-paste, but the few sections where the narc has actually written something himself, it's so bad that it would be fun to have Don-Balsa go through it. And now we're at the end of page 2 of the 4 pages of plagiarism. But back to the narc's supporters or his troll accounts. I think it's interesting how I'm criticized for making such long videos. But the only reason my videos are so long is because there's so much to cover. Needless to say, I don't think there's no more dirt on this guy. Now, are we ready for some more cringeworthy material? Here the narc explains his rule for confidence. But it's not his rule, it's Tony Robbins' rule that he has stolen and now pass off as his own. Cringeworthy. This one is also pretty ironic. Here he's actually stealing from David Wolf, a person he has gone after in the past, using Wolf's story as his own. What did Dana say in the beginning of this video?
Line number 5, using other people's stories, ideas, or efforts as their own.
Ooh, that's a bit awkward. Being exposed for stealing from the people he has criticized. And here we are at page 3 of the document. You can tell why my videos get so long. So I saw Sam Harris saying something insightful a little while ago. See what I did there? I actually referenced the person who said it. He said, "A fistfight is satisfying because victory is decisive. A debate is unsatisfying because even after you knock your opponent out, they can keep swinging as if nothing happened." Does anyone come to mind when you hear that quote? I know who I'm thinking about, but I won't mention any names. And in this section of the ebook, the narc has decided to give Dr. McDougall a little break, so instead he's copying from Dr. Esselstyn. And he's copying some more from Dr. Esselstyn. And he's copying some more from Dr. Esselstyn. And some more. And some more. That's just beautiful. And at the bottom here you can actually see that he has provided a link, but if you compare the link he provides with the address bar up on top here, you can see that he didn't even manage to provide the correct link. Anyway, only a few more plagiarized sources left on this ebook, and then we'll move on to his other ebook. By the way, as always, feel free to download this video and re-upload it to your channel. I'm sure a certain someone will try to get it down, and as I've stated his full name in the title of this video, he will probably succeed. Here he's stealing even more content from Dr. McDougall's webpage. This is how you build community, guys. You steal other people's recipes and pass it off as your own, and ask for money for it even. Such a great vegan leader, setting a good example for us all. But I'm sure I'm only taking him out of context. That's what I've done in every video so far, according to some. I mean, I'm pretty good at editing videos, but I'm not that good that I can create 6 hours of content just taking someone out of context. And for those of you who download this ebook for free, get back to me in like a year or so and let me know if you made 50 to 100 grand by following the template in this ebook. Or maybe you bought it already. Let me know, did you make 50 to 100 grand the first year? Call me skeptical, but I somehow doubt that. And here we are at the very last plagiarized source in his first ebook. That I know of anyway. Might be more that I don't know of. I mean, you can download the ebook for free and have a look yourself and see if you find some more plagiarized sources. If what I've shown you in this video is not enough, I mean. And here we are at his second ebook and more stolen content. I can only quote Donald Trump on this one. Sad. Do you think this makes the ebooks eligible for a refund? I think so. I think if you bought his ebooks, you should ask for a refund. I guarantee that he won't give it to you, but it would cause some narcissistic injury.
I don't like clicks, and I don't like fake people, and I don't like people who use others.
You gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me!
Fair usage is when you use someone's content under fair usage comments and criticism. You fucking idiots. You use other people's content, but you fucking stole it from other people. You hypocrites. You fucking little hypocrites.
You gotta be kidding me.
If I want the money, I'll go there and fucking work for it. You know, write the best ever ebooks out in the market, which I've done that.
You gotta be kidding me.
That's just me.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Are you fucking kidding me?
So be transparent, we're transparent.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Are you fucking kidding me? But sometimes it's good to be honest and transparent.
You gotta be kidding me.
So we want to be transparent as much as possible.
Are you kidding me?
People will put up this illusion of what they're doing, but then behind the scenes they're doing something else.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me or what? You gotta be kidding me. Oh, are you kidding me?
Come on, you gotta be kidding me.
You gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me.
You're kidding me, right? Are you kidding me?
Are you fucking kidding me?
You fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me?
Are you fucking kidding me?
Are you fucking kidding me?
I kid you not. So the narc doesn't like fake people. So let's take a look at his girlfriend's ebook. But before we do that, let me just defend myself, because I know people will be like, oh, you're going after his girlfriend and that's so low and she's innocent and stuff like that. But she's everything but innocent. She's spreading the same lies as the narc, calling me names and just being overall disgusting towards us. Claiming that my girlfriend have been sleeping around and that I need to accept it. First of all, what would Tori know about my girlfriend's sex life? And second of all, my girlfriend was a virgin when she was Tori's age. And I'll go a lot more into this in part 5, but the whole situation is extremely serious. So it's funny how Tori can like talk about good fucks with the guy so she couldn't walk the next day, but are at the same time slut-shaming my girlfriend and talking about sex is life and stuff like that. Highly inappropriate in my opinion, considering her demographic. She also says that I need to hit the gym. Like, her boyfriend is accusing me of steroids and she says I need to hit the gym. Like, they need to make up their mind what they want to accuse me of. And she claims that she has overcome her anorexia, but when she is calling me fat, then I don't think she has overcome it yet. But the best part is how she claims everyone are just jelly haters. I mean, she's the one who are with a guy with the body of a scrawny 8-year-old grandpa. And that's on steroids.
I find out she's actually his girlfriend, not his daughter. So his girlfriend, Tori, is confusing because she calls him daddy. So you would think, you would think that would be your daughter, but no. But she does like to call him daddy. Does anybody else kind of go, right, a young girl calling her boyfriend daddy? I would consider that to be slightly awkward. A early 20s young girl going out with a man in his kind of mid to late 40s, calling him daddy, and not seeing the irony in that.
We have to have a Disney marathon movie night soon.
Yep. What's
Disney.
your favourite Disney movie?
Tarzan and Mowgli. Little Mermaid.
This girl is going out with a guy in his 40s. Am I the only one that... Well, I know I'm not the only one because Dom just said it. Like, but it's pretty awkward. Pretty awkward.
So again, so this is like maybe early to mid 40s adult man, and this is how you start a video. Because like, everyone says, "Oh, Dom, you're just jealous. I bet you make your own great content. Oh, maybe if you had great content, people would watch your stuff." Yeah. So if that's the kind of content you think is great, don't worry. I'm quite happy if you're not going to come over onto my channel and watch my stuff. But yeah, don't worry. That is great. A man doing that to himself in the corner of a...
Yeah, Dom and I are definitely just jelly haters here. That's the one. Anyway, on to her ebook. So, Lean for Life by Tori Barry. Although, can she even say that it's by her when she has stolen so much of the content in it? So she starts off with copying some facts. I don't understand why she doesn't just reference it, and it would be no problem. But I guess it's the lack of education. Like, if you have any kind of education, you know how serious it is if you copy other people's work without referencing it. They also talk so much about how they want to build community, and here they had a great opportunity to reach out to the original authors. They could have told them that they're putting together this ebook and want to use one of their recipes. They could have just asked the original author if they could use one of their recipes in exchange for like linking to their webpage or blog or whatever. And I'm sure a lot of the authors would authorize it. And in that they would promote others and build community. But instead they just completely copy and steal their work and pass it off as their own, and even charge money for it. Now let's go through the photos in her ebook. Now this is, I don't really understand this yet. Like, how easy is it to snap this photo? Just go to a beach and snap this photo. But instead she steals it from someone else. Like, how lazy can you be? I just, like, if I did something like this, I would be so embarrassed of myself. I just, how can they do this? It's just unbelievable to me that they can do this. I bet they're not even ashamed of me making this video. They just have no integrity. Like, if I did something like this, I would be so scared of someone making the video I'm making right now. And by the way, like, notice how she's copying Tespeg. I'm gonna point that out when we go along here, because she copies a lot from Tespeg. Anyway, yeah, I'm a firm believer that the truth will always come out. So you might as well just save yourself the energy and just be honest from the start. I think it also saves yourself from a lot of anxiety. Like, if you haven't done anything wrong, then you have nothing to be scared of. Here she's stealing from a fan of Freely, it looks like. That's a bit awkward. Here's Testbag again. Another one from Testbag. Another one from Testbag. Anyway, about having nothing to fear if you have done nothing wrong, I guess that doesn't really apply to the vegan YouTube community, because here people will just make up stuff about you anyway. So another one from Testbag. Another thing that is a bit weird is that Tori has used some photos and put them to recipes that is not the same dish. So I don't know why she has done that. Like, the photos are there so you can like see what the recipe is like. Oh, that's Testbag again. How many photos has she stolen from her now? Like 6 or something? And here she's stealing from Minimalist Baker. Just take note of that. I'm gonna get more into that in a later part of this video coming up soon. Here I noticed a recipe that I think I missed earlier. Back to the photos. As Sandra says, stolen, stolen, stolen. I wonder where she has learned this behavior from. Now, what I haven't really figured out yet is whether Tori is just like a disgusting person, or if she's just completely brainwashed by the narc. Like, if she's just a disgusting person, I don't really care, but if there's some deeper issues going on here, then maybe what I'm doing here, roasting her publicly, is wrong. Here's Minimalist Baker again. We're gonna talk a bit more about that in a moment. We're almost done with this ebook. I hope you've enjoyed my little commentary. I feel like I've gotten a lot of stuff off my chest during these ebooks. And at the very end here, I'm just showing how she has copied a recipe, but she has changed it up a little bit, but you can clearly see that it's the same recipe. And with that said, we're all done with the ebooks. Now I'm gonna show you why I pointed out Minimalist Baker and Testbag. Let's hear what the frauds have to say about the people they steal from.
I had some issues with this guy called Minimalist Baker, who filed a false copyright claim against me. This guy called Minimalist Baker or whatever filed a false copyright. I was trying to get my Durianrider.com website taken down. It's a Minimalist Baker. It's like, why are this dude's not even vegan, just trying to cash in the vegan scene and creating dramas for me and for us crew out there who do stuff. I actually build community. These people just are about themselves. If you want to, dude's a fraud, in my opinion. Disappointment. Anyway, that's a bit of dramas.
Do you know who has fucking huge muscles and looks swell as a pug? Testbag.
What have Minimalist Baker and Testbag done to deserve this? They are quite literally just giving out free ebooks to help people, and here they are being slandered because they're standing up against some frauds who steal their work without giving them credit. And opposed to these two frauds, and despite Minimalist Baker and Testbag giving out their ebooks for free, you can actually tell that they put more work into their ebooks than the frauds who steal from others. And it's made perfectly clear that no part of this publication may be reproduced or transmitted in any form or means, electronic, photocopying or otherwise, without prior written permission. Can the frauds provide this written permission? I highly doubt that.
Here's the thing, Tori comes from money. She doesn't have to do YouTube. She enjoys it. She enjoys helping people out, making her vlogs, doing her thing. She doesn't have to do it. She comes from money.
If that's so, why does he charge money for her heavily plagiarized ebook?
So I finally released my ebook Lean for Life, and I'm putting it on sale for 48 hours. I'm doing 50% off, so make sure you grab a copy.
Now, I have a suggestion. Take a look at this Tumblr post. Here we have the narc writing himself a question, as he often does, about how Bonnie Rebecca should refund her ebook, because she's promoting carbs, and apparently that's patented by the narc or something. The only people who should give a refund are these two frauds. And let me just make it perfectly clear that these people have done nothing wrong. They're being slandered simply because they've been standing up against the narc. And Tori's ebook has actually been taken down 6 times. And she just keeps putting it up again and pretending that she doesn't know why it's taken down.
Tori, I'm trying to buy your ebook, but the link isn't working. Okay, I think I'm having some issues with that at the moment. I'm trying to fix that right now, actually. Someone's like done something, I don't know what, but I'll get that up ASAP. Sorry about that. I'm actually pretty peeved off myself about it too. Okay, yeah, no, I'm getting my ebook link fixed. That should be done by tomorrow, I'm sure. I make money off YouTube and my ebooks. My ebook link is down at the moment because somebody hacked my account, or I don't know what happened, so I'm getting that back up.
She knows exactly what happened. Her ebook was taken down for plagiarism. I won't mention any names. And it was taken down. Then she re-uploaded it again and again, and it was taken down again and again until she wasn't allowed to upload it anymore. And what she did then was to put it on the narc's webpage. But that's not all.
Check this out. Look at this shit, man. Look at this. You guys ready? You ready? Let's look at this. Look at that, mate. Do it.
Look at this. You know what I mean? This is the kit. I've designed these.
Well, well, well. What do we have here? Do you recognize this photo? That's right, another stolen photo. What he's doing is illegal. If you're buying his stuff, you are supporting a criminal. But not only that, the same people he's slandering and stealing from, he's putting fake testimonials of on his webpage, all to sell his shitty, fraudulent ebooks. And I don't know if you remember, but when Freely broke up with him, he started to sell Freely's ebook for half the price, claiming that it was his own work. No, it's not. Not even his own ebooks are his own work.
G'day gang, we've got the Raw Tool 4 ebook on sale currently. Go to Durianrider.com. We've got 50% off. It's down to $14.95, $14.99. It's a great book. Got over 55 recipes in there, 217 pages. Got the cycling tips are in there. So that's the Raw Tool 4 ebook on Durianrider.com. Just click onto the shop and you'll find it. Get a copy. 15 bucks. Bargain.
I've said it before, and I'll say it again. The narc needs to stop projecting his own crimes onto others. He's been calling me a scammer and a fraud, accusations I shut right down in my video, responding to scam accusations. And now look at him. Now look at who's the fraud. As I said in the beginning of part 3 of the unmasking, if you want to know what the narc is guilty of, just look at what he's accusing others of. Now, let's look at some of the more recent events. In my video, Destroying the Crazy, I covered the story of Eddie, a YouTuber who made comedic videos, many of them making fun of the narc. Then his boss started getting weird phone calls where Eddie was accused of all kinds of things. And the harassment got so bad that his boss didn't see any other option than to fire him to make it stop. I made the argument that this was the narc's work. Well, someone asked him about this on his Tumblr, and he pretty much confirmed it in his reply, basically justifying it and saying it was a case of karma. So I told Eddie, and he told me that he lost his job, his house, and his marriage because of this. This is what the narc is doing to people. And now he's offering $1,000 to anyone who can provide him with my or my girlfriend's workplace or university, claiming it's for his lawyers. No, it's not, because I wanted to do this in court. We sued him, and he ran. This is so he can try to do to us the same thing that he has done to Eddie. And here he's trying to get some information about Freely's brother's workplace. And here he's making the same threats to those who comment in support of my videos. Now, how do I know that this Ragnar Valhalla account is him? Well, for one, this account gets extremely triggered by my videos. Who would get so triggered if not for him? Another thing is that when several of his accounts was terminated, this account went down with his other accounts.
That's a coincidence. I don't believe in coincidences.
Now, let's look at my previous video, an update from YouTube headquarters. Some people really thought they had something on me now, that they had caught me in a lie. But I'm sorry to disappoint. It's just that you haven't paid attention to what I'm trying to do here. My objective is to expose a narcissist. So I've showed you this before, but let me show you one more time the ending of part 1 of the unmasking.
For some people, your objective might be just to prove that the other person is a narcissist. You take yourself from prey to predator and start thinking about the other person's vulnerabilities, what they're insecure about, what they feel anxious about, not sure about, and deliberately provoke them, deliberately open those wounds and throw salt in them in the same way a narcissist does to their victims. The revenge you could be seeking could be to actually cause the narcissist to have a public meltdown or explosion that exposes them for who they really are.
Let's repeat that one more time. Deliberately provoke them to cause the narcissist to have a public meltdown. Deliberately open those wounds and throw salt in them in the same way a narcissist does to his victims. If you watch my video, you can see I put a clip of him in the beginning where he takes credit for taking someone else down, saying you can't slander people and stuff like that. I do the exact same thing in my video. My video is almost a parody of him. It was designed to cause him severe narcissistic injury. The sunglasses, the music, the laughing, like everything. And I did this so he would further expose himself. And expose himself he did. In his efforts to get back at me, he said something pretty revealing.
Michael. Oh, hey. Just wait a sec. Yo, bro, what's up? And a little bit of choking, she likes that. All right, man, I'm doing it for you. How's Norway?
So he's saying my girlfriend enjoyed being choked during sex. Remember, this is the guy who has been desperate to convince everyone that he didn't rape her. And now he says this. What's so absurd is that my girlfriend never called him out for rape. All she said in her video was that she had experienced some sexually predatory behavior from him. The exact behavior he accused other men of in the community. A Freudian slip, it's called. Instead of responding to what my girlfriend said in her video, he responded to what actually happened. And I'll go a lot more into this in part 5. Part 5 will be called The Sexual Assaults. That's with an S at the end. My girlfriend is not the only victim, and I have some pretty damning evidence of him abusing multiple girls in the community. That's all I'm gonna say for now. He's gonna be completely exposed in part 5. Now that my video achieved exactly what I wanted it to achieve, I'm gonna clear my name again and prove to you that I never intended to take credit for taking him down. No more than temporarily anyway. So as you can see from the messages, I never tried to hide the fact that the video was a trolling video. Take note of the dates. This is while his channel was down. And in this email you can see that I actually said that I was gonna make that clear in this video, which is exactly what I'm doing now. And again, look at the date, this is while his channel was down. Now, because of my video, the narc also felt the need to show why his channel was taken down, as he didn't want me to get the credit. So he showed a conversation between him and YouTube, and notice how he is telling YouTube that it was bots and not the other way around. As I've said before, he's a complete fake. He's buying likes and buying subscribers and views. And he was caught and terminated. And then he tried to accuse freely. Now, where have we heard that excuse before? That someone is trying to take down your channel because others are buying you likes? I think both of them are guilty of buying likes and views and subscribers for themselves. He also revealed that he is operating under different Gmail accounts. So he's revealing quite a lot of things that I've said all along. But he also exposed himself in another video. Let's have a look.
This is what people are doing. People are buying views for channels, and then that'll get flagged as spam and then deleted. Your channel will be deleted. So it's, from what I see, it's very easy to get someone's channel taken down. From my experience of my channel getting taken down, I actually had about 4 channels taken down yesterday.
Did you notice that? Forget about this arrow. Look at this. Here's the narc exposing that he has a fake ISIL account. Now, that's interesting, because ISIL made this video a little while ago.
Does anyone really think I would send a message to Vegan Cheetah saying, I used to look up to you? Look at the very top of the screenshot. It says, I used to look up to you, and it's not even grammatically correct. It's I used to look up to you. That does not seem like something I would say in a private message sent to Vegan Cheetah. Does anyone actually think I would send a message to Vegan Ava saying that she has a C- body? Okay, all right, that part may seem believable. Why would I write to her saying, I hope you never get accepted to any job or university? It's really kind of the opposite is that I hope for, like, gee, Ava, I hope you do get a real job. I hope you do get a real education. That'd be better for everyone.
There's also this screenshot, and notice what Alina is saying here. What a creep. I knew Durianrider was right. Would an narc make fake accounts and message people under ISIL's name to make people believe he was right? I mean, ISIL may not be as intelligent as he wants you to believe, but he's not this stupid. And I know what you're gonna say. You're gonna ask, why are you continuing to defend ISIL now that he's calling you a liar and trying to make you look crazy? Look, I never defended ISIL, I've just exposed the narc's lies about him. Just because ISIL is a piece of shit doesn't mean it's okay to lie about him and accusing him of all kinds of things without any evidence. And I've gotten a lot of criticism for putting ISIL in such a good light in my videos. And I actually thought about having a little disclaimer saying something like, just because I'm sticking up for ISIL in these particular situations doesn't mean that I agree with everything he's said and done. But I thought it seemed a bit passive-aggressive and unnecessary, so I just left it out. Now, ISIL is not a very popular guy in the vegan community, but you have to remember that this was the exact reason why the narc went after him. He looked like an easy target. And ISIL has now, in the past couple of months, been prodding me with a stick from afar.
And what they'll do, they'll prod you with a stick from afar, they'll do things to annoy you, and as soon as you react, they're going to use that against you. They're going to talk about it, they're going to criticize you for it.
Anything looks familiar there? I mean, we've been through this in part 4 of the unmasking. Yeah, so he made a little tweet here, a little comment there, just passive-aggressive bullshit to try to annoy me. He has been wanting a conflict for a long time now, but I just ignored it. But recently, he made a video discussing my video, an update from YouTube headquarters, where he was discussing whether or not I was lying in that video, which is fine. I don't really care about that. But let me just make one thing clear. I didn't lie in that video, but I didn't really make any claims in that video. All I said was that people have been asking me if this was my work, and all I have to say to that is that I'm in San Francisco, which was true. I'm at the YouTube headquarters, which was true. I have a document with a list where the narc is violating YouTube's terms of service, which also was true. and I showed a post from Facebook where I was talking about going to YouTube headquarters if like our reporting didn't work. So we had actually planned it, but what happened was that once we got to San Francisco, his channel was terminated. So like before we got to any chance to talk to YouTube. So we decided to just make a troll video to cause some narcissistic injury instead. But what my problem is with Isol's video is that he said, Norvegan is certainly capable of lying. I've seen him lie myself.
And Norvegan is certainly capable of lying. I've seen him lie myself.
I've seen him lie myself. Very like vague remark. Like, how can I defend myself against that comment? It's just all I can say is, no, you haven't. So I sent him an email asking him for specifics because I'd like to defend myself against that accusation. And the first thing he did was to just flat out lie to my face, saying that he hadn't accused me of anything. So I quoted him, and what he did was to just reply saying that I was trying to create a conflict here, but all I wanted to do was to defend myself against his accusation. Then he sent me this long email claiming that I had said all kinds of things that was just complete bullshit. Then he also claimed that I was worse than the narc, which, like, with everything that has come out about the narc, that is just stupid. So I just told him, so basically your accusation is based on your other accusations, because he has accused me of saying all kinds of things all the time in our email correspondences. This is called gaslighting, another tactic narcissists use. A lot of our email correspondences are actually just him accusing me of saying things I haven't said, and then me defending myself against his accusations. So he basically called me a liar for refuting his gaslighting tactics. So I just told him I'm gonna release all our emails publicly to clear my name, and also that, you know, I'm not gonna waste my time with someone who calls me worse than an narc. That's just stupid. So, you know, don't contact me again unless you want to issue an apology. Then things got really absurd. He made a public apology video claiming that I had requested this of him. That's another lie. Like, why would I want a public apology for him calling me worse than the narc privately? It doesn't even make sense. And he claimed that I got so offended of him discussing whether or not I had lied in my video and update from the YouTube headquarters. Like, I had already told him in the email that I had no problem with that. The problem was that he said, I've seen him lie before. So I just sent him another email telling him all of this, saying that he did not apologize for what I wanted an apology for, and that he has given me no reason to not publish our private emails. Then he made several more videos trying to convince his viewers that I'm a liar, like going through our emails, but he's not actually showing my email. He's just saying that, oh, his email was so deranged and boring, so I'm not going to go through it, but what he said was this and that. Why do you think he doesn't show my email? It's pretty obvious what he's doing. And when he actually do show my email, he is like trying to change the content of my email with his words, it seems. Like he's telling you that, oh, he said this and that, but then if you actually pause the video and read the email, you can see that there's a disconnect between his words and what I said in the email. And then what he does is that he shows his own email where he is telling me what I said, but he's just showing his own gaslighting. But it makes it seem like I've said it in the email he doesn't show. Now, the really sad part about this is that the only reason we are in this situation is because Hannah spoke up when the narc was accusing Isol of his own crimes. That's the only reason we're in this situation. Hannah spoke up for Isol, and she had no reason to speak up for him. Like, Isol have been criticizing Hannah like he has been criticizing everyone. So she had no reason to do so. She just did it because it was the right thing to do. And Isol has been harassing her for a while, and we asked him several times to can you just please not send Hannah any emails? She just wants to forget this whole community. And when he didn't stop, Hannah told him that she's had really trouble with this whole public thing, being shamed and being lied about, and she was suicidal last year and stuff. And she told him please just not show this email publicly and just don't discuss me on YouTube. What he then did is that he's showing this email. How disgusting can you be? You know? So I can now confident, I've had this suspicion for a good while. I think I'm gonna just publicize all our emails so you can see it yourself. But I've been and I've actually told him this myself several months ago, saying I'm really unsure about you because you have some really strong narcissistic traits. And I think this is why he wants so bad to like get back at me and have been wanting to create this conflict, so he have like an excuse where he can like make it seem like he's the rational person and I'm insane. And just to be clear, like the email he showed from Hannah, that's actually, it's a 6-month-old email because she has received a lot of messages from people being concerned and stuff like, but she's in a much better place now. Like she's completely disconnected from the whole YouTube thing and she's not following anything. But it's really sad how ISIL is doing to Hannah now what the narc has been doing since last year. So I can now confidently say that ISIL is a narcissist too. He's a cerebral narcissist. The narc is a somatic narcissist. Somatic is like, it's the body, like they care about the physical thing and they like to abuse physically. But cerebral narcissist, it's with the brain and they like to like, they're more into like psychological abuse.
Cerebral narcissists, these are narcissists that are very driven by not so much status. They might not drive a Porsche, they might drive a Subaru, you know. They're more of like, you know, they listen to, you know, maybe NPR, they like, you know, have multiple PhDs, they are very focused on IQ and kind of who they're reading at the time, and they're very intellectually, that's where their intellect is where they get their ego fed from.
I'm not sure if I'm going to publish all the emails, but if I do and you read through them, you can see that he's constantly gaslighting me, and gaslighting is a form of psychological abuse. So I know people will just say, oh, everyone who goes against you is you just gonna call them out for being a narcissist. And it can certainly seem that way, but just think about this. It's estimated that 3 to 6% of the population are narcissists. And if you add antisocial personality disorder to that, psychopaths and sociopaths were up to 10% of the population. That's 1 in 10. 10 in 100. So like there's more narcissists in the vegan community, I can promise you that. And especially being YouTube, I'm sure the concentration are even bigger here. And when I say narcissist, I'm really meaning like cluster B personality disorder. I'm not sure whether these people are like sociopaths, psychopaths or narcissists, but as they say, all sociopaths are narcissists, but not all narcissists are sociopaths. So that's why I just say narcissist. And I'm just gonna say it like Vegan Cheetah is a narcissist too. Now here's the thing, narcissists are very good at spotting each other, and when they do one of two things. Either they just keep away from the other narcissist, or they try to destroy the other narcissist. And if you look at Vegan Cheetah, the narc, or the main narc I should say, and ISIL, they've been trying to destroy each other for a long time. But what's interesting now is that the three of them have come together and are trying to destroy me, or trying to destroy my credibility, at least. Now, the irony is that in part 1 of the unmasking, I used Ask Yourself as an example of someone who just throw the word narcissist around on someone who isn't a narcissist. And the example I show, he is calling ISIL a narcissist. And Ask Yourself actually replied or made a response to my part 1. And he was extremely aggressive towards me that I didn't really understand at the time, because like I just used him as an example. It wasn't like meant as a shot at him or anything, although he claimed it was meant as a shot at him. A lot of people just throw the word narcissist around all the time. But now, looking back, I can see why he was so aggressive, because ISIL was doing to him what he's doing to me now, just completely misrepresenting and manipulating a situation. So I can understand why it was infuriating for Ask Yourself to have me like, oh, here's a guy just throwing around the narcissist word.
Mercy out of goddamn nothing.
Projection much? ISIL, I corrected your initial misstatement of my arguments. You responded with a whole video. Then I refuted you, and here you are yelling at me and calling me a racist. You're all the fuck over the place. You are the one expanding this discussion into new areas. I made a simple video, you expanded it. You're the one creating a controversy out of nothing, not me. I'm just defending my public image from some delusional narcissist on a rampage.
There's all kinds of garbage on your channel I could debate.
Calling some of my content garbage without evidence, standard behavior from you, ISIL. My content is fantastic. I put tons of time into it, my channel is growing. I will overtake you on YouTube.
And now the sun went down, so I guess I'll record the rest of the video tomorrow. But that's all I'm gonna say about the whole ISIL situation. I've had a few people say that, oh, you have to respond to ISIL because he's hurting your reputation or whatever. I don't really have time for him. Like, I can't take on 2 narcissists at once, so I'm gonna focus on the main narc. It seems like most people see through ISIL's tactics already. So what ISIL really did was to expose himself, trying to make me look crazy. And he also proved that I haven't been lying. Or at least anyone with minimal critical thinking skills can see that. So thanks ISIL, I don't even have to respond to you. There, sorry about that. So I'm gonna leave, well, I don't know what I'm gonna do yet, but if I decide to publish the emails between ISIL and I, it's gonna be in a pinned comment below, together with the free ebooks. Yeah, there's another thing I forgot to say yesterday, that there's some people that try to make it seem like it was so disgusting of me of lying about taking the narc down, and like that people donated money because they thought I had taken him down. If that's the case and people feel cheated, just ask for a refund, no problem. But according to the notes people are leaving, it seems like it was the whole unmasking thing they were thanking for. I'm gonna leave some of the notes in the ending of this video. Now, back to the narc. He also felt the need to send me some death threats. So let's have a look at that. So here's a comment he left on his girlfriend's video, saying, I'm going to fucking kill Norvegan. I'm going to track that bastard down and make him wish he was never born. And he posted this under the account Vegemeister, a known account of his. I think this is the account that used to be called Pineapple Princess. The profile picture is taken from this girl, and if you just look through her Instagram, it's clear that this is not the person of the YouTube account. And the narc often do this. He is creeping a lot on young girls, and he is creating accounts using their profile pictures, and it's just creepy. And here's another message he sent me with the account Gold Coast Vegan. This is another known account of his, saying a comeuppance is headed your way. So he is constantly trying to intimidate me. But I know from my work as a prison officer that older men who targets young vulnerable girls, they are the most insecure little boys there is. That's why they target young girls, because that makes them feel all tough and powerful. So this idiot doesn't intimidate me with these stupid threats. But it says something about what kind of behavior he encourages, which leads to videos like this.
You're a greedy little shit, right? And you need to be shot. People like you need to be shot. I don't care. People like you need to be shot. You need to be shot. Seriously, you lot need to be shot. And what would be funny is someone shoots you in front of fucking Hannah Chloe's face, and all the blood will splatter over her, and then she'll lose her shit because she won't have a meal ticket, and then she's gonna have to fuck someone else. You're in bed with a snake, like you're like that guy who just sees Hannah Chloe getting fucked hard like by a black guy, and you're like this is you with your little TPP. You're probably like this if you saw Durianrider giving it hard. You're probably like this, and that you hooked up with a fucking a gold digging whore. And you're tasting his dick. When you're doing the two-hander, you're tasting his fucking dick. How does that taste? How does his balls taste? How does his salty balls taste? Innit? How does his salty balls taste? Look at you. You're a fucking idiot. You're laughing and giggling with your fucking slut. Here's his address, everyone. One of his addresses. You deserve to die. Slow, painful death. And it'll be fucking funny. She's a money-grubbing whore. You're better off just getting a prostitute, mate. At least you know what you're getting. She's pretty much a prostitute, Hannah Chloe. She's a prostitute. Only with you for the money. How's that taste? How does Durianrider's cock and balls taste? Since you are, when you're doing tongues, you're tasting her. The saliva is mixed in with Durianrider's seed. How's that taste?
So if you're wondering about why not more rape victims speak up, here's a good example right here. And this is not anything new. This has been going on since last year. People making videos like that, naming Hannah and saying all this crap. But I think it's a good illustration of why I'm making these videos and just completely annihilating the narc. Because my sense of justice is just too strong to let him get away with this. And I looked at this guy's Twitter, and it said that he works as a care worker in Bristol, England. So if anyone knows who this guy is, what his name and where he is working, please let me know, and I'll inform the boss about who they've hired. Like, this is just completely unacceptable to make videos like this being a care worker. And I know people will say, oh, you're trying to ruin this guy's life and stuff, but I want to ask you this. If you cared about someone and had them left alone with this guy, would you want that? Like, I know I would be thankful if someone informed the workplace so they could take the necessary steps. Like saying I deserve to be shot, like, and sharing what he believes is my address, which actually is my mother's address. It's just, and saying this stuff about my girlfriend too. Yeah, but this is the kind of environment the narc is creating. It's not like, this is why people look at vegans as like just insane, crazy, hypocritical idiots, basically. It's because of things like this. Anyway, except for this guy, I think it's only like a handful of people left. My videos have gotten massive support, like more than I could ever dream of.
Richard, what do you think about the Norvegan Durianrider stuff?
I think Norvegan's videos on Durianrider are great. Durianrider's a complete dick, especially like he's just losing his mind. So I think what Norvegan's doing with Durianrider is great. Somebody has to expose him for being a complete hypocrite. I don't know what the hell is going to happen to Harley. He just looks like he's going more and more insane.
It's not that he's getting more and more insane. It's just that you can see more and more of what's behind the mask. This is the real person. And he has been like this for years. I've done my research and I've found like old forum posts where he is having the same behavior, like sending death threats, intimidating people and stuff. So this is not something new. I know Freely makes it seem like, oh, he suddenly changed when he started doing steroids, but no, he was like this way before that. Now, narcissists, they are very concerned about their public image. Like, that's everything they got. So me getting so much support from people, the narc doesn't like that. So what he has been doing ever since the first unmasking episode, but especially after my latest video, an update from the YouTube headquarters, he has pretty much gone insane with troll accounts, trying to change the perception that I got support. It's almost fascinating to watch because he's starting threads and having like discussions with himself, with his different troll accounts. It's like pure insanity. Then he keeps changing the name of the account, so it seems like there's different people. Like, this account was first called Morality Mentality, then it was changed to Pong with Pants, then it was changed to Norwegan, then it was changed to Norwegan is Psycho. And notice how all of them are mentioning the dislikes on my video. And this is all the narc trying to change the public perception of me, making all these comments saying, oh, I'm now exposed as a liar and nobody likes me anymore, and that's why I get all these dislikes on my video. And he's also saying this on his Tumblr page. Now look at this chart. Do you see something suspicious about this? Almost no dislikes, and then boom, 1,000 dislikes, and then another day, boom, 1,000 dislikes. Anything suspicious about that? No? Okay, look at this then. Here you can see the countries the dislikes come from, and the countries are Venezuela, Peru, Honduras, Colombia, Paraguay. But if you look at this statistic, we can see that I get no views from these countries. That's a bit weird. Can it be that the person who got terminated for buying fake likes and stuff for himself is now buying fake dislikes for others? The videos affected are also videos that we know the narc hates, like this one, part 3 of the unmasking. He did everything he could to get that down. And he did get it down for harassment and bullying. I just re-uploaded it after the strike on my channel was gone. We also know that he hates the Josie video, and as I've showed you the screenshots before, that he has been trying to take that down too. And of course my previous video. Now, who else in the community does the narc hate? I mean, he doesn't hate anyone, he's just sharing his comments and criticism. But who else is he sharing his comments and criticism about?
There's someone who's buying dislikes for my videos. Now, so I went into my analytics and I noticed that on October 21st, it had been disliked 192 times in one day. Now that's just unheard of. I've never heard of that before. And then I checked where the dislikes are coming from. So here, Colombia, Peru, Venezuela, and Chile. I don't have a demographic in these countries. On October 19th, 279 dislikes in one day. And then you go over to what country they're from? Colombia, Venezuela, Peru, Chile. Like, Weird countries, I know. Very peculiar, someone's going and disliking my videos. Why would someone be motivated to do that? The person who's buying these dislikes aren't affecting me personally. This is an attack on a vegan message. Now, who would do something like that? Who would attack a genuine animal rights activist who has integrity and speaks clearly for the animals? I had a suspicion who it was, and I won't drop the name because I don't want to drop this person's name anymore. So this video was a video that I made to another YouTuber, and just explaining why I don't support them anymore. Pretty. I had to make it. It was just to publicly cut ties. I looked at it, 2,000 likes, 752 dislikes, and I was like, wait a second. There was the point of this is there's no negative comments along with these dislikes. There's no you take the time to dislike a video. Usually you're going to leave a comment. No negative comments. Okay. Now 750 dislikes. Okay, so I looked at it from September 28th to October 23rd. 500 dislikes. I was like, wow, that's a bit peculiar. Let's see when these dislikes came. These 500. As you can see here, there's a massive spike. There's a massive spike. Now that is weird, isn't it? That is weird. Is it weird? Let's have a look here. 500 dislikes on October 21st. October 21st, that date seems very, very similar to over here, the eating dogs. October 21st, 192 dislikes. So they're buying this particular person. Who would pay for 500 dislikes for that video if it wasn't the person in question in the video? Cost a bit of money. This person is spending money on this. Colombia, Venezuela, Peru, Chile dislikes. Wow, interesting, hey? Where are these? It's a pretty consistent thing going on here, eh? So that's obviously where these dislikes are coming from. This person here is buying them. They're spending their own money on it, which I find is very strange. Person in question has had problems with spam and bots on their channel anyway. So like I don't know why they're dabbling in this mess. But personally, I don't care what other vegans are up to. I focus on the animal message, and this here is jeopardizing the animal message by putting dislikes on my video. It's a bit sad really in my eyes. I really think it's pretty pathetic, and you know, I don't know what else to say about it.
Here's a message I received from Plant-Based Athlete. As we know, he's been called a sexual predator, and he has also made a video in support of my videos. I feel there's a pattern here. And the girl who made a video about her weight gain on the narc's advice also was affected by this. Oh, and what a coincidence, the narc is commenting on her video harassing her. And this is just a small channel too, so he's really not leaving anyone out. I also noticed this comment on Joey's video. This is a guy who made a video about the narc, and it was not a positive video, but he took it down for some reason. You should put it up again, it was a good video. And here's a video Don-Balsa made about how he got a sudden spike in views. So he's actually buying views for Don-Balsa. Aren't you the lucky one?
So let's just go into here. Oh, bit of a spike. Bit of a spike. Now what video is that on? Diddlyrider has been terminated. 6,000 views. No, 6,200 views. Watch time 5,000 minutes. So we've had more views than we have had minutes. So it means that there's been 6,000 people, 6,200 people coming to view that video, and none of them have watched over a minute. So it's like on, yeah, watched it, clicking off. There's something, I don't know, maybe it's the word terminated, maybe that's a Russian thing.
I think the narc is trying different tactics to see if he can get people shut down. And we all know that Dom has been criticizing the narc for a good while. And here the narc is going after Dom's child, like a real man going after a child. And his wife saying the usual, that she's fat. But I've seen his wife and she's not fat. It's called a grown woman's body. I think the narc has forgotten what that looks like because he's so fixated on young, like underage girls' bodies. Anyway, it almost seems like there's some kind of connection between the people the narc doesn't like and the dislikes they receive on their channels and troll accounts and stuff. It's very strange. I also noticed that Tori got a sudden spike of subscribers on her channel in August this year. I mean, she's been making a lot of videos, getting like shoutouts from the narc and stuff, and her channel just grew very slowly, and that's despite, I mean, the narc made Freely, so it seemed like Freely did all the right things, but her channel just didn't grow that much. And then suddenly in August it like jumped from 5,000 subscribers to 10,000 in 1 month. So it's very, very strange. Let's talk a little bit about Tori.
Do you know what? F you. F you all. Sometimes in life you're gonna get hate, and that's unavoidable. Like, it's life, everyone hates everyone, there's always a reason to hate, and that's just the world we live in. Pretty messed up, but we can't change it. Some people just get so obsessed with you, they hate you so much, they have to make videos about you. Like, I don't know, that's so much hate. It's almost like love. If I see hate about me on the internet, does it bother me? No. Do these people come to my face and tell me? No, they come across as anonymous accounts. So someone said something to my face, bitch, watch out. Haters, they can say stuff, haters make you famous. Haters can say whatever the hell they want to say, and at the end of the day, it does not get to me at all. If it got to me, you wouldn't see me doing what I do. Like, if the hate got to me, I would be off social media like that. And people love to hate. They just get so obsessed with your life, they find a reason to hate on you. But deep down, I actually think they're obsessed with you. Like, it's kind of creepy. And it's sad that they have nothing better to do with their life than just to make hate about you. Move on. Harley and I, we are having a ball here. We're doing what we want to do on the daily. None of your shit gets in our way. So if it really makes you want to fap off to it, come on, continue your stuff. But like, seriously, it ain't gonna stop us doing what we're doing.
Does she remind you of anyone?
In one of your talks, you were talking about someone who was abused by a narc. What? Abused by a narc can display narc traits. Is there a way to find this out? Which one? Okay, do you mean the target of abuse starts displaying narcissistic traits? That's called picking up fleas. So when somebody is involved in an abusive relationship, they pick up fleas. It's just like the old saying, if you lay down with dogs, you're going to pick up fleas. So when you're with an abuser and the abuser is abusing you, one of the ego defense mechanisms is called identifying with the aggressor. So you start becoming the abuser. You start taking on their traits. You start vomiting out their filth. You start abusing by proxy because you're trying to stay safe. It's an ego defense mechanism.
Yeah, it's in the CPTSD spectrum, it's a fight-fawn response. Primary fight, secondary fawn. And you're basically just trying to survive. You're using survival strategies. It's very normal for people who do not have NPD to develop a defense mechanism that they would have acquired from the abuser, because we're always learning. And if you're stuck and self-isolated, no family, no friends, just chatting to that one hypnotist all day, every day, yeah, you're going to start talking like them and acting like them eventually, of course.
Yeah.
Isolated from family and friends now, who has been in Thailand for a pretty long time? I don't know if this is the case with Tori or if she's just a disgusting person, but I think it's worth to keep in mind because she's kind of an easy target the way she's behaving now. And we've seen the same with Freely, and we all know what Freely has said about the narc. And if we look back, we see some clear similarities between Freely and Tori.
So I know you're all just little trolls working in your little team trying to get Harley and I to split up or whatever, but you got to see just how happy I am.
So is Harley an abusive guy?
He's not an abusive guy. I wouldn't be in a relationship with someone abusive.
Some people saying, oh, you know, Harley's a bully, I bet he abuses Freely and stuff like that. You really think these muscles are being abused? He's not the, like, you don't understand Harley at all if you think he's the abusive type. He's not an abusive type.
A wise man once said that you should never believe a thing simply because you want to believe it.
Personally, I've been in several relationships with narcissists over the years. Of course, I was not aware of the word narcissist. I was not for a long time. I was not aware that I was in a relationship with narcissists. Had anybody told me that back then, I probably wouldn't have believed them.
She has a fat issue. You know, you can see the bones, the tissues. You know, if you can see the collarbone, if you see the collarbone lean, and just go like this.
Don't.
The little stranglehold.
So he's a good-natured guy, huh?
He is, and we're good company, good vibes.
He cares about other people.
Yeah, he's a very caring guy.
Tori looks like a bit of a Russian hooker, doesn't she? And she probably more of a German hooker.
And talking about similarities between Tori and Freely, and as this video is mostly about ebooks, let's have a look at Freely's ebook, or rather the before and after photo that she's promoting her ebook with.
So paleo diet before and after. Freely, which is paleo diet?
On the left.
On the left. And this is you, paleo or vegan?
That's me, vegan.
Paleo, okay, so vegan. So vegan. On the left, the bikini is fat one's paleo, the slim is vegan. Paleo equals fat, vegan equals slim, fit, healthy, sustainable.
Tasty.
Tasty. Done. Tasty indeed. Thanks for watching.
Well, you got to really appreciate the irony of the ending of the video there. Don't get scammed. So I guess don't buy the narc's ebooks would be a good advice, or his clothing stuff. Now, did you notice the photos they were using, the before and after photo?
She eats 2,000 to 5,000 calories a day and doesn't eat anything cooked or heated until after 4 p.m. This, she says, has helped her shed 40 pounds over the years.
Yeah, that photo. Do you see something strange about it? I'll let Sandra finish off this video as I let her start this video.
Your beloved Banana Girl is a big bullshit artist. Freely's entire Banana Girl business is based around one big fat lie. Only a jackass of the highest degree would do something like this to fool everybody into believing that they've lost more weight than they really have. Original photo, fathead photo. Original photo, fathead photo. You can see it's stretched just by looking at the photo. Look at that. Before, after, before, after.
But when enough people make false promises, words stop meaning anything. Then there are no more answers, only better and better lies.
Recently, while on vacation with our 2 grandsons, ages 3 and 6, we came across this crime scene with 2 police cars, 4 officers, and 1 bad guy. The boy's first question was to me, "What did you do, Grandpa?" I told them I didn't know what the bad guy did. Next, they ask, "How can we tell he's a bad guy, Grandpa?" I answered, "Because he's in handcuffs." They continued, "He doesn't look like a bad guy. His face looks nice, and his clothes are clean." I explained to them that you can only tell who the bad guys are after they are caught. Before the discovery of their wrongdoings, they look just like good guys. And most of them even believe themselves to be good guys. Finally, my grandsons wanted to know if the bad guy was going to hurt them. But I assured the boys, the bad guy won't be able to hurt anyone if the authorities do their job.
I'm not afraid of you. You know, you're not going to bully me into silence like you've done to everybody else.
Nothing stand in our way, and I will finish what you started.